Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back with the newest Marvel Studios Disney Plus series on the horizon. It's finally arrived. It's series premiere day. Series premiere day for Marvel Studios Moon Knight, starring Oscar Isaac and what's his name? Dude from Sinister. The first is the thing I can remember him from right now. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke. He was in Sinister. He's been a bunch of stuff. He's a pretty popular kind of Hollywood actor. But yeah, Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac are both in this. Oscar Isaac is the one playing Moon Knight, as well as a myriad of other characters and other identities as well. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get the chance to really pick up any kind of comics or any stories in preparation for this, but I did kind of Google the character and see have like a kind of like a brief glimpse into what he's like in the comics too. And I think people kind of in hype and preparation for this have been sharing different kind of little tidbits and little snippets of what the comics are like and what the characters are like and everything. So I think the two identities I actually know of like more prominently right now are Marc Spector and Stephen Grant, and I think Marc Spector is the one who's actually a mercenary. That's the identity within him that's actually a mercenary, and I think his body in that sense is actually trained for that kind of work, and as a result to actually be the Moon Knight and everything. So there's that, and I think Stephen Grant is just the kind of average, kind of everyday, kind of average Joe kind of guy. I think in the trailer, I think we saw that Stephen was the one who actually worked at the museum in London too. So I think he actually is the actual civilian, and then Marc Spector is the mercenary. I think we saw him in like one of the shots actually discovering he had like a gun on him and everything. So I think Marc Spector is the one. Marc Spector being the mercenary is one of the weapons, and I think from the comics, I think I've seen like he has a few of them. He has a few. I think one of them is Mark. One of them is Steven. I think there's another one where he's all dressed up and he's fancy, like he's actually like an actual rich guy in a suit and everything. I think there's that one, and then I think there's another one where he's a cab driver or something. He's a cab or like a taxi driver or something. So I think there's that one too. I think I think the rich guy is actually like a really kind of snobbish and really kind of pretentious kind of identity. So I think I'm curious as to how many of the identities they're going to cover in this show as a whole. Let alone in this first episode. I think in this first episode, I think we might discover more identities as time goes on, and he actually might like more identities might come out to play as the episodes themselves go on too. So that would be cool to see. So I think with this one, I think this is also a dissociative identity disorder too. So it's not exactly. I don't know. I'm really not sure like what differences or similarities it might have to multiple personality disorder. But I think that one, multiple personalities, is the one covered with what's his name? He played Charles Xavier in the X-Men stuff. Young Charles. What's his name? Not Ewan McGregor. I don't know why I'm thinking of Ewan McGregor. What's his name? James McAvoy. James McAvoy. He like what he did in Split. What he did in Split, like to my knowledge, that is multiple personality disorder. Because then they're all like aware of each other, and I think they're all connected in like a kind of maybe like a stronger sense. But I think with this one, this is actually dissociative identity disorder. So I think with this one, it's been described as him having blackouts and him not remembering when different identities kind of switch between each other. And I think that might make more sense as to if he wakes up with weapons or if he wakes up surrounded by dead bodies or something. Then that means he's actually just transformed back from being Mark. And I think there's a final one, which is the actual Moon Knight one, which is actually I think that one is actually in connection to the Egyptian god of the moon, Khonshu. I think his name is. I think Khonshu. So yeah, so there's a bunch of different ones, and I think this is like the kind of newest kind of MCU hero to come into the spotlight now. So this is definitely going to be like an origin story, as opposed to anything else we've gotten from the previous heroes. I think the previous kind of hero titles we've had have been kind of continuations and different like origins in like a bit of a sense, but I think more so just kind of continuations of the stories like with WandaVision and Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier and everything. I think they've definitely been continuing their stories after everything that happened in Endgame. But with this one, it's gonna. I think this one is gonna be I think the first of a few. I think we're gonna have this one, then we're gonna have Ms. Marvel, which is gonna be another origin story, and then we're gonna have She-Hulk too. So I think all these three series are gonna be debuting this year. So it's gonna be a fun year. Gonna be a very fun year. So very excited to see exactly what Moon Knight holds, and You know, not that I'd be able to spot them, but whatever differences they do adapt, and whatever differences they do make, but then also exactly how accurately and how similarly the story that they actually adapt from the comics will be, and seeing what the story's all about, and seeing Oscar Isaac in the MCU too, that's always a gift. Well, that's going to be a gift. So yeah, I'm really kind of curious to see to see how they delve into his character and exactly what kind of story they go for, and who this guy is, and how they play it and everything. So it should be fun. Yeah, I think just seeing who else is actually in this too, who else I might recognize, or who else it might introduce, character wise and actor wise. Because I'm only really aware of Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. So I'm really curious to see what other names are in this and how this whole thing's gonna go. So yeah, it'll be fun seeing, because I think the only character I know of that Moon Knight has crossed over with in the comics is the Punisher. I think apparently he has some really interesting, the Punisher, and I think the Avengers too. I think with the Avengers he has very brief encounters, and I think they're mostly I think there's that one with I think that one comic of him calling the Avengers on the comms, and then being like, you know, like, where's my fucking money, and everything, and then Spider-Man's like, you know, like Dracula's not here, we don't have your money, he doesn't have your money, just stop calling us and everything, and there's that one. I think he's like a big kind of hounder of Dracula too, like he's always constantly kind of harassing Dracula and actually stalking him and asking him where his money is, and then he has like a really kind of funny kind of exchange with the Punisher in the comics, being like, oh hey, how's your dead family doing? Oh, they're fine. How's your imaginary god? Oh yeah, he's fine too. So, you know, not word for, I think obviously it's more of like a, you know, I almost just butchered that interaction, but still he has some interesting crossovers with characters in the comics. So don't know how that's going to go in this. I mean now we have all the thing, we have the Defender saga and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or at least the US has the Defender saga and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Disney Plus. I think all the series like Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Punisher, like they're all on Disney Plus now. So, you know, don't know how they. I mean, now they're available, but I'm you know, like no one's really sure of how they're gonna move forward with those stories or with those characters or anything. But now they're introducing Moon Knight. I think it definitely kind of, you know, feels like it opens up the floodgates for a bit more possibility. So I guess we'll see. But I think for now, the best thing they can do is definitely focus on Moon Knight and bring him into the light first, and, you know, because that is exactly what he wants to do too. He wears a bright white suit because he wants to see his enemies coming, and he wants to be in the spotlight, and he wants to, you know, put them on high alert and still beat their asses anyway. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I have to talk about before going to the episode. So yeah, season 1, episode 1, the series premiere of Moon Knight on Disney Plus. Let's go. Oh, I was gonna break the glass. Oh. Whoa, no, oh, I thought I genuinely, because of how flat it got, I genuinely thought it was going to be like a magic trick. Oh, he's filling the sandals with the glasses, with glass even. Oh, is he going to wear it? Oh, don't tell me he's going to wear that. Is this some kind of like pain ritual? You know, pain clears away sin, or pain does something good for you or something. Oh, please don't walk in that. Oh, he's standing, he's going to walk in glass. He's going to walk in glass. Brings a whole new meaning to the phrase glass slippers. Yeah, it brings a whole new meaning to glass slippers.
Morning, Gus, my little one-finned wonder. Hello, Mum.
Gus. Oh, the fish, a goldfish. Oh.
I got your postcard. Hey, mate, still selling the old brushes and brooms, right? Right in front of my entrance. Got no problem with it.
It's not half. I want to say it's not half bad. I'm not gonna judge him too harshly on it, because he is a.
That better not be you again.
Sorry, Donna. Yeah, sorry.
Donna Noble.
Tomorrow.
Best steak in town?
Oh, dinner.
Oh, yeah, right.
Dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
Dinner date?
Are you asking me out?
You're funny.
Oh.
I'll see you then.
What in the world's a bloody vegan going to eat in a steakhouse?
I don't know,
Is he-
Donna. Salad? Bread?
He doesn't even remember asking her out in the
I can see
first
why
place.
she went for it.
Yeah.
Real catch you are.
Damn. The nights are really that rough. You don't even remember what your love life's like.
The Ennead? The supergroup of Egyptian gods? You know, you got Horus, Osiris...
So he knows his stuff. He's just not a
Please,
historian, like an
if
official
this
one.
is some weird audition to tour guide here. The
Yeah.
answer's still no.
Oh, so he has tried.
That's actually crushing to hear. My body wants to get up and wander about. You know, like it has to get the 10,000 steps in. What do you think?
That's a
No,
statue, right? A
you're
human
right. I mean, I
statue.
guess
There's a guy with
There
makeup
are
on.
stranger
Yeah.
things that people do, but extra pralines for the man himself.
No. Well, that's nice, leaving food for them. Yeah.
Cheers. Oh, don't forget the tip. Oh, yes. Cheers. Thank you.
That's really kind. He's, actually working with them.
I will see you on the flip flop. All right, laters.
Like, I mean, he's not even disrupting it. He's actually just sitting down and chatting. That's actually really, that sounds nice. Yeah. The guy doesn't even really seem bothered by it. He's just like, he's just still as dedicated as ever. Yes. I'm sorry, but if the locks don't work, what is tape gonna do? If somehow whoever he becomes in the night can get through the locks, then is tape really gonna be where they draw the line? That's gonna be the one thing they can't break. It reminds me of that meme of the little of the Cheeto in the lock. Whoa! Now he woke up in the middle of nowhere. Oh, dislocated jaw. Is that a dislocated jaw? Oh, that's gotta be a dislocated jaw. Oh, a dislocated jaw, bloody teeth. God, I'm telling you, the tape did not work. The tape did not work. The locks didn't work, and the tape definitely didn't work.
Surrender the body to Mark.
To Marc
Sorry, what?
Spector.
The body, what?
Yeah, so this is still
Surrender the body,
Steven.
what body?
The idiot's in control.
What's that? A scarab? That's a scarab. That's an Egyptian scarab. Is that Khonshu? Oh, there's people after him.
Just
Oh.
stand there.
Yeah. Oh no, only Mark can handle this. Only Mark can truly handle this. Damn, where is he though? Is he? There's a castle. Is he in Windsor? Is that Windsor Castle? I don't know what Windsor Castle looks like. Oh no, he's not. That's not even English. No, he's somewhere else. Definitely not at Windsor. No, that's not even English on the signs. Where is he? Is that Germany? Is he in Germany?
I judge you in Amit's name with but a fraction of her power.
Whoa, the scales actually move on his arm.
This is the face of a good man.
Oh no, a red scale. Oh no. Oh.
Dua Amit!
Oh, bollocks.
Oh, bollocks.
Mercenary.
Mercenary.
Mercenary?
Mark.
No, I'm not
Mercenary
mercenary.
Mark. Mark the
No,
Merc.
I'm a gift shopist. I work at a gift shop. My name's Stephen Grant. I'm back to London. London.
London.
Don't know why I'm saying it like that.
Oh, his body won't let him. His body won't let him. No.
Come on. Fingers froze.
Oh, they got it. Oh, did he butcher them all?
The idiot's back.
Oh yeah, he butchered them all. He blacked out into Mark. Oh, Mark is so bloody. Oh shit, yeah. No, Mark is not to be messed with. Mark is not to be trifled with.
They're gonna kill me. Come on, you bloody cupcake man.
Cupcake man. A cupcake man? I don't know how to that. Is it not an ice cream man? There's a thing, a little swirl at the top. Oh, chickens. Oh, not the chickens. Never ends well for the chickens. Thank you. That's alright. You're forgiven. It's fine. It's alright. Just lob the cupcakes at him. Forget it. Lob the cupcakes at him. Oh, what happened this time? Oh, more blood. A gun. Oh, and he
If
just...
he loses the scarab, I'll kill you both. Truck!
The truck ahead of you. Oh, Final Destination 2! Oh, Final Destination 2. Final Destination 2. He Final Destination them. He Final Destination 2 them. Anytime to truck on a log, you just know. Final Destination 2. You just know it.
Did he just throw the gun?
I don't know what I'm doing!
You
He
shoot
must
a
be.
gun. Oh, it was a swirl on a cupcake, but yeah. Well, Final Destination! I told you. Final Destination freaking 2. Yeah, Final freaking Destination. If anything happens to Gus,
Dream about.
we riot. If anything happens to Gus,
Yesterday that fish had one fin, yeah? You would like that when I bought him. Today, what do you see?
I see
he had one
Two
fin?
fins. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, he's got 2 fins now. So
He had
is that
1 fin?
Normal or? Bugger, I've got a date. Sorry, I've got a date.
Wait, isn't that a 7? Oh, he's still got to get ready. Yeah, of course, he's still got to get ready. But yeah, I mean, fine, yeah.
What do you mean? I'm at the
Did he miss
restaurant.
the day?
The steak. It's
Was it yesterday?
time.
I ate steak by myself, thanks. 2 days ago.
Oh,
I thought we
shit,
said
he
Friday.
missed it.
Welcome to Sunday.
Yeah, he
Come on,
missed 2
no,
whole days.
It doesn't change the fact that today is Sunday, which means lose my number.
Oh,
Cheers.
oh gosh. No. He blacked out for 2 whole days, really? Well, how long was he in? I think I'm assuming that was Germany. How long was he in Germany for?
Good. Yeah, very good.
Good, very good, very well done.
Well done.
Well done. Oh, poor Stephen. Poor Stephen. He blacks out, gets attacked by mercenaries, and then loses a date.
Anyway, I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. Love you. Laters, gators.
Those generally sound like voicemails. I'm sure he's not actually calling his mother, but I think those very much sound like voicemails. What's that? A plug and a set of keys. Is that a Walkman? Oh no, a phone. A Motorola even. Could it be a Motorola? A really old phone. A flip phone, of course. A flip phone. And Layla. Dude Camp.
Sorry, I just found this phone in my flat, and I'm just trying to figure out whose it is.
What is with this accent?
What? Who do you think I am?
What do you mean who? What's wrong with you, Mark?
Mark.
What did you just call me? Why did you call me Mark? Hello?
Oh, and she's disconnected. Ooh, then the plot thickens. The plot thickens. Oh, mirror. Mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Oh, it's actually shaking its head at him. Whoa. That's Khonshu. Oh, damn.
Are we back on the 5th floor?
Yes, the 5th. My friend Claire lives here. I'm visiting her.
Oh, she thinks he's a... oh, she thinks he's a creep. Oh. Oh, we woke up on the bus this time? He woke up on the bus this time? Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, and he's here too! Fucking Arthur! Arthur Harrow, he's here. Yeah.
This man right here, he's been following me. No, I don't know.
Where's Amit?
Oh no.
Ronnie.
Has he been recruiting already?
She grew weary of having to wait for sinners to commit their crime before punishing them.
Is that why she predicted the future? The woman who had bad stuff done to her in the future?
She would have prevented Hitler and the destruction he wrought. Nero, the Armenian genocide, Pol Pot.
Not nice people.
But she was betrayed by even her own avatar.
Avatars. Blue people. Love that film.
Avatar.
You mean that?
What I mean.
Anime.
Yeah,
Stop it. You want to know the truth?
his body belongs to Marc Spector too, though Marc Spector is killed. Maybe the scale won't be able to decide. Maybe the scale can't decide. Maybe it can't decide. It's really indecisive when it comes to him. Because it's trying to judge different people too. It's trying to judge all sorts of different people and it just can't decide.
There's chaos in you.
Dog? There's a dog in the museum?
Hello?
No, the reflections are out of sync. They're out of sync. Oh no. Is that even a regular dog? Is that like an ancient Egyptian dog? Is there a god of dogs? Or god of animals? Or canines? Or I don't know.
Give me the scarab, and you won't be torn apart.
Okay, turn to Mark. Now would be a great time for Mark to come out now. Now would be a great time for Mark to come out. Don't knock over the fuss! Oh, bollocks. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
That thing's about to break through the door. We're out of time.
Can Mark handle it?
All right, hey,
Can Mark really handle an Egyptian
look at me.
monster thing?
This is real. I'm real. Let me save us.
Gotta convince yourself to help you save yourself. Oh. Or is this where Moon Knight comes in? This is where Moon Knight comes in. This is where he turns into Moon Knight. Wait, is Mark Moon Knight? Or does Mark become Moon Knight? Or does he become some kind of Khonshu thing? Oh, damn. Yeah, there he is. That's the Moon Knight. That's the Moon Knight. Oh, he just... Oh, damn. Hey there, Mooney. Hey there, Mooney. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was really good. Oh. Oh, that's a good one. That's good. May Calamawi and Ethan Hawke, of course. The man who walks in glass. Oh, gosh, that looks so good. That looks so good. Moon Knight. Alright. Alright. Okay, so yeah, that was a really good episode. I think that was a really strong introduction, a really strong introduction, and a really fun and really kind of, you know, really kind of mood shifting kind of first episode for the series and everything. A really good job of introducing both Mark and Steven. Even though I mean Steven was the more prominent one, but then even Mark being in the background and being the one who blips in and out and everything was still really kind of strongly placed within the story and really well done in that sense too. Like I think the way that this kind of episode I like uncovers for us is pretty much the exact same way it uncovers for Steven too. Like it very much feels like you're on the journey with Steven of actually discovering this stuff about him and everything. And I think I think the fact that he actually does with Steven too. I think the fact that he actually does tie himself to bed every night as well. I think it shows that like that's the one piece of history there is for him, but everything else we're kind of slowly discovering along with him. Like with him, I think maybe for him it's only really been blackouts until now, or maybe like because I think I feel like again it's only the first episode, so there could easily be more history that they actually reference and unpack in the coming episodes too. But I think so far, given how they haven't really kind of shown this, like they haven't really mentioned this happening before as of yet, I feel like I think either there's there's definitely more to come along with what's already more to come, but or up until now it's only really been blackouts, and because that he's already worried, so then he changes himself to bed every night, locks the door and like triple locks the door and puts the tape for added peace of mind, and then he goes to sleep and everything. So yeah, but I think with this one, as the story must go, as for the sake of story, this is the first time he actually managed to get loose from the bed and get past the door and still end up in like an entirely different country. So quite the journey. But yeah, Stephen Grant, he is the Brit. I think based on Layla at the end being like what's with the accent, even with Mark, I think Mark actually did have an American accent. I think for Mark, I think he actually did have an American accent. I think Khonshu had something else going on, but I think Mark had an American accent in the Reflections, and then Stephen is on the with Brits. Have little. I think the one I actually was even slightly familiar with was multiple personality disorder. I think this DID. I wasn't all too familiar with. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know exactly how similar or different from this it was, or exactly what those kind of attributes kind of were. So DID, I'm definitely gonna have to look it up for some more authentic and more accurate information. But I think I'm also really curious to know like how much of it can be accurately presented in this story. But I think with this one, to be honest, like regarding the whole accents and different accents for different personas thing, I think in Split, Kevin did have different accents for his one too. Or at least he put on different voices. I think with Kevin, I can't remember if the kid was Kevin, but I think the kid identity that he had, I think that one had like a really childish American accent. But I think Patricia, I think Patricia might have had like an actual British accent too. So I think with that one, James McAvoy actually did give different voices to his individual personas, or at least the characters' individual personas. So I think with that one, they use different accents for different identities. I think that one could be carried over, or it could be something that's kind of like actually similar between MPD, multiple personality disorder, for MPD and DID too. So Maybe, but I think that one really strikes me as like a really kind of interesting one. Like different identities can actually have different accents and everything. I think especially because I mean, again, like to begin with, I feel like Oscar Isaac's attempt at a British accent definitely did feel like that. It definitely did feel like an attempt. Because again, don't get me wrong, there are so many and this goes vice versa, by the way. This goes vice versa. Like there are so many American actors that can do flawless British accents, and there are so many British actors that can do flawless American accents. And I think it never really gets to me until I actually see like an interview of them or like a behind the scenes kind of thing of the actor as themselves, and then they speak in like a completely different accent. And I'm like, whoa, they're actually British or they're American. I think, but their accent was so damn flawless and everything. So I think but I think with this one, I'm actually like the vast majority. Like I think this is probably like the first ever role he's done where he gets to use an American accent and a British accent. So I think because people consuming his stuff are actually so familiar with him talking in his actual in his natural accent. I think because of that. Not only can it probably be easier to judge him on this, but I think I think at least to my ears it just sounds a bit more obvious that he's actually trying to put one on instead of it being actually trained. I think to be fair, when you ask someone to do a British accent too, I think what they're likely to do is however they think posh people speak. I think like my accent is just like a general one from just outside of London. I think with him, he lives in London. He lives in a flat in London. He works at the History Museum and everything. So with him, he's from like pretty much from central London. I am from just outside of London. So I think my one is fairly close. I feel like my one is probably fairly close to to what Americans would probably assume that like any natural kind of English or British accent kind of sounds like. I think when you ask someone to do like a British accent, I think more than like I feel like more than likely like they might end up doing like an actual English one or like a London one as opposed to like English in general or even Scottish or Welsh or Irish or something. I think Irish and Scottish might pop up, but then Welsh might not as much. Based on actual kind of people I've seen in those situations actually trying to do impressions and everything. So yeah, I think again I think British actors too. I think I think for a while now I think they've been from here and there too. I think we've had our fair share of really kind of famous and popular kind of Scottish actors and Welsh actors and Irish actors too. So I think it's still actor wise is generally I think actor wise is generally diverse, but then actually kind of like knowledge wise I think in terms of actually having a knowledge base across Europe or even across America. I think if you ask an American to do a British accent, then they might end up doing one from London or just like one that they think that is like either all encompassing or even like the only one they know. I think unless you specify like do a Scottish one or a Welsh one or an Irish one, like they might just do English, and then even then it's like London. It's going to be like London. It's not going to be Edinburgh or Manchester or Liverpool or anything like that. So. Yeah. So again, I think the more the episode went on, his accent definitely kind of felt a bit more natural. I think it definitely felt more like the character. I think with him too. I think him being from Central London too. I think the more it went on, the more it went on, the more it sounded like a voice actually, like a voice and an accent and like an actual personality that I actually recognise here, like him actually being the way he is. I think his personality as a Brit, as a Londoner, already super understandable, super relatable and everything. It's just the way he is. Definitely feels real. It definitely feels kind of authentic and natural. Like the more time went on, like the more different kind of situations we saw him in, and the way he reacted to it. I think that stuff definitely felt a lot more natural. Like for me personally. So everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to react to that kind of differently. So that's cool. But I think also just having a story and a character like that set in London, set in like a place I actually recognise, also felt kind of cool too. Actually seeing him working to a place I've been, and him like living in a city I know, and like I'm actually not too far from too, and that actually having it like hit like a bit close to home in that sense too. Because I think it's obviously not. I think it's not. It's not going to be like culturally kind of representative in any way, besides from the Egyptian stuff. I think the Egyptian stuff actually exploring Egyptian history, Egyptian gods, Egyptian culture, that kind of thing, is where the actual cultural kind of thing is going to come in. But I think with this, just like him being like one of his identities being like a regular bloke from London, is going to be it's going to be its own cool little thing. Because I think Stephen too, I think he's also like he is the one who's like he's the average Joe, he's the average civilian thrust into this mess, and he's got one side of him that's like a Egyptian god powered superhero, and then like another side of him that's like a ruthless mercenary, and then there's probably even more to come. So I think that kind of like a whole identity crisis thing kind of brings along its own interesting kind of story, I think. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see exactly how this unfolds and where it takes us and everything. So yeah, again, I think his accent again, the more you get into it, really not that bad. Really, at least for me, really not that bad. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. He's also got memory loss. He has memory loss, and I think the memory loss. As we see more prominently from this episode too, the memory loss is also almost exclusively from blackouts too. Like he can black out for like days at a time, as we saw, because he missed his date completely. You know, I thought that would be the one good thing he got going for him. I thought that would be the one good thing that he actually managed to catch it. I thought maybe the date would happen, but then maybe Arthur would show up at the date, and then he'd actually have to blip out and become Mark again, and then he'd do something that would actually freak her out and she'd run off. But no, he just completely missed it. I think to be fair, he was in like an entirely different country at the time too. I don't know where he actually went to. I think I still can't exactly pinpoint the language, but I think as soon as I saw it wasn't English, I was like, okay, it must be somewhere outside the UK then. You know, because then I thought the actual writing. I think the U in one of the signs actually had the little two dots in between on top of it. I think, to my knowledge, as far as I'm aware, I think German is the language that does that the most. But I think I couldn't. I mean, I wanted to then say it could just be Europe in general. It could be Germany. It could be Poland. It could be I don't know where else. I think it seemed more likely to be Germany, but then I also didn't really kind of want to like to rush to that conclusion. But either way, he left the UK as a whole. So I think the leg straps didn't work, the locks on the door didn't work, the freaking tape didn't work. You know, he left the country as a whole and he went somewhere else, and he got into trouble with some mercenaries, and he met Arthur Harrow. So yeah, so his memory loss is a thing. I think it means he forgets what day it is, and he forgets like where he is and stuff like that. So his memory loss is an issue. It's a definite issue. But I think he's also not completely useless. I think at least, I mean, he might be physically useless because he can't fight back, and he's very kind of submissive to bad people, and he will do anything to survive. Pretty much. Like his survival instincts are strong in that sense. But intellectually speaking, he's a huge kind of fanboy of ancient Egyptian culture and deities and that kind of topic. So I think he's pretty useful in that sense, actually knowing who's behind the curtain and knowing what deities there are, what they want, what they do, and who they are and everything. So I think that kind of gives me some sense that he actually might know who Khonshu is, and he might know what Khonshu is, and he might be like even slightly aware of them. So seeing how he deals with Khonshu and Khonshu's connection to him and his body and his connection to his identities and everything, and Khonshu's place in his life and Khonshu's place in among his identities will be a really cool thing to see him discover and everything, and actually seeing him become familiar with that side of himself. So that's cool. So he's a ancient Egyptian fanboy, and to the point where he actually does want to upgrade from being like an actual gift shop person to then being like an actual tour guide as well. Like he actually wants to walk people around and tell them what's what and show them everything and show them all the cool stuff and be that. But so far, no luck. So far, Donna is not budging. She's not nudging, she's not moving, she's not doing anything. So she is keeping him as her trusty inventory kind of checker and everything. So yeah, that's how his life's going in that sense. So that's fun. And then we have Marc Spector, who is the mercenary, the ruthless mercenary in my head. Like when he actually blips out as Mark and blips back into Stephen, and then he just comes to and he finds his hands drenched in blood. And I think the first time is like his hands drenched in blood and there's bodies piled around him, and the second time he wakes up in all sorts of things. The first time he woke up, I mean, it looked like CG. I mean, I think that had to be CGI. I mean, obviously, like, I think they would have told him to wake up with like a really misplaced jaw and everything, but then I don't think that they actually would have pushed his jaw out of place. I think the CGI might have actually pushed it like an inch or two further than it actually was in real life. But then for the most part, like actually, it was like pushing his jaw out of place, and he actually had to click it back in. I think when I first saw that, I was like, oh my god, his jaw has to be dislocated or something. So then he actually has to click it back into place, and his teeth are bleeding, and he's, just out in the middle of nowhere, and he wakes up and everything. So that was the first time I woke up, and then he ran into the mercenaries, and then he's in like a whole other country, like a whole other town, like in like a village and everything. So that's when Marc Spector is the mercenary in his body, like the mercenary identity. So I think physically he is overall capable of fighting back to that. I think the fact that Marc Spector is an identity that lives in him, but then is also a mercenary too, shows that he actually does have the body to fight back. But then only certain identities actually have these survival instincts and the skills required to do what to do. I mean, Steven has survival instincts, but then Mark being the merc, he has the skills. He has a skill set. He has the actual, he has a set of skills that can terrify anybody. And I think that's the identity in which he can actually just, beat the crap out of all the other mercenaries around him and anyone who actually crosses him and everything. So I think Mark is the one in control and who actually has control of the body he's in. He actually has the utmost control to the point of actual full-on survival and to the point of retaliation too. So yeah, like that scene, like when they actually finally manage to take the scarab out of his hand, and the camera zooms in and blips in and out and everything, and he comes to, and then he's holding the scarab again, but then he's covered in blood, and everyone, like, and even the crowd around him is dispersed, and there's only like 2 or 3 people left, and even they're kind of backing away. To be fair, I think that's actually, like, I think for the first time that's been done in the MCU, I felt that's actually still really, really cool, because I think with the MCU, we have been treated endlessly to so many different fight scenes and fight styles and awesome kind of stunt sequences and everything. I think for the first time, for us to not be able to see a fight scene, but the actual result of it is actually like a really, really cool thing. I think I feel like maybe even Moon Knight being the character that he is, being the person that he is, having what he has, I think this might be the only opportunity to do it. But then they still took it and they ran with it. I think they still took the opportunity to actually hide the actual fight from people, but then actually only show us the aftermath as well, and actually just kind of leave that too. So it's like, it's like for the first time they're actually keeping the action away from us for now, and actually kind of showing us what the aftermath is. Because then I think in a general sense that's always that's always more teasy. Like in a general sense, like in any other movie, in any other franchise, I think that would always be like a kind of slightly like a generally cool thing to see. But I think with the MCU too, the fact that we actually have like an endless supply of action sequences and all sorts of deaths and stuff to actually look back on. I think for the first time now, like their first episode actually doesn't even show us the main character fighting. I feel like that's still like a really good, like kind of cool concept to go with, and like a really cool a really cool way to introduce the fact that like one of his strongest identities actually doesn't really even get that much kind of screen time in that regard too. I think in terms of story, I think actually kind of keeping the fighting away from us for now is like a really kind of interesting and really strong way to actually start off the series too. We experienced that story and we experienced that journey the exact same way Mark experiences it too. Like he blips out and then he actually blips back in, but then all of a sudden he's either somewhere else or he's actually in the same spot but now surrounded by a pile of bodies and everything. So actually experiencing that journey the same way that Mark does actually adds that kind of amount of drama and kind of not really having any idea what's going on, him actually having no control over this, but then him just kind of coming to, and all of a sudden he's fine, and what he was so scared of initially got sorted out. So yeah, I think Mark is a character I'm definitely interested in actually seeing come to life again in like a much more prominent way. So yeah, Marc Spector. I think Mark is the one that Layla is connected to as well. I think Layla said at the end on the phone that she's been trying to contact him for months, but then no word. She didn't know if he was dead or alive, and she's been worried sick and everything. So yeah, hopefully once we get Mark properly, hopefully then we'll actually get Layla too. So yeah, all in good time. The effect overall isn't anything flashy, but I think for the concept and for the story, it works super duper well. And again, I think less is always more too. In this case, I think it kind of zooms in, flashes a bit, and then comes back out, and he's still, he's suddenly get hit with the realization that he's actually done all this stuff to it. So even the actual kind of blipping effect as well. I think for him, I think that would be blipping too. I think for him, I feel like a couple of seconds passes and then but then like I think for him, for Steven it's a couple of seconds, but then I think for Mark, I think he gets a few. He likely gets like, I mean, depending on how good he is, he likely gets like a few minutes or more to actually come out, do his thing, and then go back out. Because then but then I think he only goes back. I think he only really struggles to come out, or even actually is forced back in once Steven comes out too. I think Steven, because he even at the end he said, I can save us, but you got to give in and you got to stop fighting. He specifically said, you got to stop fighting me. You got to work with me here. So I think Steven is constantly actively, even when he's not being himself, I think he's still kind of actively fighting over his body and everything. So I think because that the blips kind of show him kind of fighting fighting Mark to have control over his body, but then Mark wins for like a few minutes, and I think he's probably aware of the few minutes he has before Steven comes back again. I think if he doesn't take them all out by then Mark will, but then Steven will be still be left with at least one to fight, and it just won't go well. So yeah, I think then that would then also kind of show just how good of a merc the Mark is, that he actually can still handle them within the few minutes he has before he has to actually go back in and let Steven come out. So. And then there's Khonshu as well. I think Khonshu, I feel like we definitely had the voiceover as well. I think from the voice from Khonshu actually being like, oh yeah, great, the idiot's in control. Hey idiot, let go and let Mark take your place. So then yeah, I think Khonshu is the Egyptian god. I think the god of the moon probably. I think the god of the moon, it being Moon Knight and all. The Khonshu, I think we saw Khonshu in this as well. I think Khonshu had like an actual kind of like a bone kind of head, and like covered in those same kind of mummified kind of robes and wraps and everything, and had like a scythe or like a staff or something. So Khonshu is the god also kind of thing. I'm curious how his DID went that far that you could actually like an actual god kind of infiltrate or even enter his kind of life and his mind and his thing. Or I think maybe if it's like I don't know. I mean, I think maybe if it's because he has a scarab. I think he has a scarab, but I think with the scarab being what it is and how badly Arthur wants it, I think I mean with how badly Arthur wants it for the whole armor thing too, I'm kind of guessing that maybe, just maybe, the scarab is either connected to Amit or is connected to Khonshu. I think it must be the two. But I think with how, I mean, I think it definitely could be either with how adamant Mark and Khonshu were. But I think with Khonshu he even did say if he loses the scarab, then I'll kill you both. So you'll actually take out the one body, you take out both or even all identities. So there's that. So Khonshu, I think Khonshu is clearly the one who actually imbues Mark and Steven, or at least Mark, with the actual powers and things. I'm curious as to whether Moon Knight is like its own original identity, or if it's actually Mark in the actual thing. Like if it's actually, because we still see it taking over one body. I think he's giving in to Mark. He said Mark did specifically say, you got to give in to me, you got to surrender control to me, you got to let me save us. I think I'm kind of, especially with Mark being mercenary, he's the one with the skill set. Again, he's the one with the skill set, the experience, and he's the one with the knowledge of how to fight and also how to kill. So I'm kind of wondering if Moon Knight is Khonshu's interpretation of Mark, or if maybe if Moon Knight is the powers given to Mark by Khonshu. Maybe Khonshu recognizes that Mark is the one with the knowledge, and him being a merc too, he probably has knowledge on like the dark side of humanity and the dark side of human kind of interactions that Steven doesn't. So then like that kind of thing that Khonshu would actually appreciate in like an actual fighter and everything. So because of that, I think I'm kind of wondering like if Moon Knight is actually like an actual kind of like combination of Khonshu's powers and Mark's kind of skills and everything, or if it's actually like a whole other kind of identity of like a mix of the two, like Mark's skills and Khonshu's appearance and his powers actually produce Moon Knight or something. So curious to find out what that kind of what that kind of reveal is and how that works. So. And then there's Arthur Harrow. I'm believing that he's a cultist, or he's definitely a leader, definitely a cult leader, but a cultist of sorts too. I think that intro with him, he drank the water, he at least hydrated himself before he smashed up the glass and poured it into his own sandals. I think again brings a whole new meaning to glass slippers. I think, you know, I mean, considering the original Cinderella story was actually a lot bloodier and a lot gorier, like with the stepsisters actually cutting off like bits of their own feet to try and actually shove it into the glass slipper too. This feels like it would actually match a bit more too, but I think with this one, it's like him pouring broken glass into sandals and walking in them. I think I mean, you know, I think with him being a cultist, I think I wouldn't be completely surprised if maybe it was like a thing where it was like a pain equals like forgiveness kind of thing, or like suffering equals forgiveness, something like you go through pain and you redeem yourself and all that kind of stuff. Because then I was wondering like, oh, is blood gonna start leaking out of his sandals because he's actually walking on it, or what's gonna happen? But I don't know, but just, oh god, just actually standing, I think, doing standing reactions now, I think now, or at least doing a standing reaction for this one. I mean, truth be told, it wasn't that bad, but I think, as soon as I saw he was actually pouring the glass into sandals, I thought, okay, this is going to actually look uncomfortable, let alone feel uncomfortable, so gotta prepare for that. But yeah, no, I think it was still that was him, and I think I'm pretty sure he actually walked every time he was on screen, he was wearing those exact same sandals with the same glass. I mean, I'm wondering if he actually does if he swaps out the glass at the end of the day, like maybe at the end of the day before he goes to bed, if he actually takes his shoes off and he actually does, I mean, God knows what I was saying the other day, but then if he actually does replace the glass, maybe if that's his morning routine, or even like a nighttime routine, maybe he actually at the end of the day he just kind of takes off the sandals, empties out the glass, and then does the same thing the next morning too. But then doing that on repeat, I mean, again, I mean, it's obviously unhealthy too. I think that is actually damaging your skin, damaging your feet and everything. So it's like it's definitely not a healthy thing to do. But then, of course, ritualistic things like this, ritualistic things like this never are. Like, health is never the point. It's always all about, you know, pain or redemption or sacrifice or suffrage or whatever. Or suffering even. So yeah, that's just the whole point of it. That's the whole point. But yeah, Arthur Harrow, he had like a very, very mystical, very, very kind of, you know, freaky kind of scale tattoos on his arm, and he has the whole kind of scale thing, like the staff like has a scale to it, and actually balances on the arms of people he meets and everything. So he judges that. Our meet her power imbued through him. So I think that must be how it is. Then I think our meet's power is imbued through him, and then Conchu's power is imbued through Marc. And then they become into things. I think so. Now I'm kind of wondering if Arthur might get his own kind of appearance towards the end, like maybe if Arthur might transform into something else, or if he actually might get if that might be towards the end of the season, maybe if he actually does get his own kind of appearance or something get his own kind of suit up thing where he actually transforms into Amit or transforms into some kind of manifestation of her or something. So that'd be cool to see. But either way, he does communicate and actually have his powers imbued through Amit, and I think it's the power of foresight is when you can see ahead, right? I think or was it hindsight? I think because hindsight is more of like oh, if I knew then what I know now. Like I think I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Like if you knew what hindsight is, like, you know, like hindsight is it's, I think that's the phrase that goes along with it, right? I think hindsight is like if you knew then what you know now. So if you can actually, if you could do it all over again with the actual knowledge you have now. But then foresight, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure like hindsight, foresight is actually going forward, actually being able to see forward in time, actually being able to see what lies ahead of you or what lies before you. So I think foresight is actually. Yes, I think based on the old woman that he actually judged as well, I think with her the scales turned like a bright red and even actually leaned badly on one side. So then and then she even said, you know, I've been good my whole life, I've done nothing wrong. But then he was like, you know, maybe then in that case it's probably something that Army sees in your future. So then Army can actually judge you. I think he even actually he definitely even actually specified later on to Stephen too that, you know, like Army has the power to judge you based on your past, present, and your future. So even if you do some bad stuff in your future too. But then it's like, you know, and then he in the museum he even mentioned like, you know, Army would have had the power to stop Hitler and his destruction, even like Nero and Pol Pot, and just mentioned like a bunch of other disasters I think. But then it's like then shouldn't the point then, I think, should the point really then be eradication or even elimination, or should it be actually like because I mean, to be fair, she's passing judgment. Like she's not here to I think Amit, as far as Arthur described, is not is not the god of rehab or anything. Like she's not here to change you. She's here to stop what might happen. Like she's there to actually prevent, and she's there to pass judgment and then to prevent what could happen. And that's why like the old woman actually literally died on the spot and everything. So and I think, yeah, even the way he described the two of them was that Amit was the bogeyman for sinners, or for evildoers, and she'd be like the kind of bogeyman. I think the first bogeyman in the world, apparently, according to Stephen, but I think according to Arthur, the bogeyman for evildoers, and then like the monster that gets the monsters, pretty much. So like he also mentioned she had been betrayed. She'd been betrayed by other. By her other fellow gods too, but then also by her avatar. I think that then prompted a reference to both the actual James Cameron film and of course the anime as well. I mean, Avatar isn't specifically anime. I think it's an animated show, but I think I'm not entirely sure that the Last Airbender would actually fall under the anime kind of thing, because that is like an exclusively kind of Japanese kind of animation and like drawing style. But I think it definitely would count as like an actual animated show. I think I could be wrong. It could also still maybe under technicality fall under anime, but I think to my knowledge it is mainly like simply an animated show and not specifically an anime. So either way, prompted a reference about the two from him. So even her avatar had actually betrayed her back then, and also the other gods too. So I think that makes me wonder, like maybe by retrieving the scarab. I think if the scarab is actually in connection with Amit, then maybe that scarab will allow Arthur to become the new avatar of Amit. So maybe that's why both Khonshu and Mark are trying so hard to get Stephen to keep the scarab, and maybe that's why they're trying so hard to actually keep it out of Arthur's hands and even out of the hands of his cultists and his recruits and everything. So I mean, again, even I'm guessing that like the security guard and the security guard and the woman that Stephen found with the actual scale tattoos and with the praise army kind of things they were saying too. I think I'm trusting that those were recruits already in the museum too. Because I think, as much as this is still a Marvel series and like a Marvel drama kind of thing, I'm not really, I don't know whether or not to buy the fact that Arthur went in for like 2 minutes and he already managed to recruit 2 people. So I mean, he has powers clearly, and he has powers to kill, and he has the powers to move the scales on his hand and everything, but still, I think given his reach and his influence, and then like the level of influence we saw in Germany too, I think I feel like maybe like just then he also very, very easily has the power to recruit people and even actually kind of recruit them in like a very, very kind of cultish kind of way. So, and seeing the goldfish second time, I think his name was Gil. Seeing the goldfish a second time too. I think the second time the goldfish was actually featured in the scene, I think it suddenly hit me like, wait, aren't goldfishes supposed to have poor memories? Like, aren't goldfishes supposed to be the animals with really bad memories? I think elephants have really good memories. I think they have really good memories. But then I think goldfish, I think that's why like people say, oh, that person has the memory of a goldfish because they forget everything. So I think really, I'm trusting like that is very, very intentional placement within the story, and very, very intentional placement of him owning a goldfish, given how bad and blippy his own memory is. I think that's a really cool kind of like Easter egg to consider. So there's that, and then of course apparently he started off with the fish only having one fin, but then once he wakes up the second time, he actually notices that the fish has 2 fins. So yeah, I think given that the woman at the pet shop also, or the aquarium, also had actually claimed that Mark that Stephen had actually visited yesterday. I think I'm trusting that when he was asleep he was in his different identity and then actually kind of woke up and took the fish back, or even got like a new fish or something. So yeah, goldfish for Stephen, the guy with memory loss. So yeah. And yeah, I think even in the museum when Arthur tested his scales of judgment on Stephen as well, I think he said there's chaos inside you, which I think there definitely is. There's a whole kind of identity shambles going on going on inside of him. But then I think it's also the fact that the scales are not just simply testing one identity. I think they're testing Stephen, they're testing Mark, they're testing whoever else might be in there, maybe Conchu or maybe something else. And I think again from the comics, in the comics there's a whole group of them. There's a whole like a whole list of other identities. I think even if like not only like I think even if they don't introduce every identity in this season alone, maybe if it's going to be like a 2-season deal, even if the even if they don't introduce every single one in this season alone, I feel like that was the whole point of that season alone. The fact that the scales are actually judging all of them, maybe all of them at once, maybe all of them one at a time. So then because of that the scales are literally indecisive. Like they can't decide which one is, because then it's all multiple different identities, one body. So then do they judge the body or do they judge the identity? Because then they can't judge Stephen for the things that Mark has done. They can't judge Mark for the things that someone else has done. They can't judge like the body based on a bunch of different identities. Because then who does the action belong to? Like, does the action belong to the body? Because then the body's doing it. But then the mind is what controls the body. So then like in his mind are living different identities. So then he can't punish the body doing something. He can't punish Stephen's body for doing something that Mark made him do. So because I think that's because the scales were all the more indecisive, and then even Arthur himself actually knows that him being like there's chaos inside of you. There's indecision. There's actual an actual identity chaos inside of you, and that just doesn't really kind of work well with the scales of justice. So interesting. And yeah, I think he leaves voicemails for his mother too. He actually leaves voicemails for him. I think I'm convinced. I think because of how he talks and how fast those those calls are, I'm pretty convinced that those are actually voicemails. I think either he intentionally leaves voicemails for his mum because he knows that they won't pick up. Because he knows that she won't pick up, or he calls her to see if she will pick up, but then she doesn't, and then he ends up leaving a voicemail anyway. But then the fact that he actually always leaves voicemails for her, and he actually never, and then he seemingly never gets through to her, is also kind of like almost worrying too. Because then is she okay? Is she still alive? Is she actually there? Like is she deliberately not picking up, or is she just kind of conveniently missing his call each time, and then he's forced to leave a voicemail for her or something? So that kind of stuff was concerning, but either way, he leaves loving voicemails either way too. So I think Stephen is a genuine nice guy too. He Stephen is actually all this blipping aside, he's a genuinely nice guy. Even that scene with him and the actual the human statue dude. I mean, not gonna lie, some shots had me questioning whether or not that was actually still an actual human. But then the fact that there was still the slightest little kind of the slightest little shimmer of movement here and there, and also the actual kind of the hat with the money in it, no one will tip an actual statue. So that kind of gave away too. But then even then, it's Stephen isn't disruptive, he's not antagonizing, he's not being mean or disrespectful. He sat there and he's talking, and I think the guy's literally paid to be as silly as he can under any and all conditions, and not to move under any conditions or under any circumstances. So then in that case, Stephen might be putting him through his paces just a little bit, because then I think the guys used to hear people coming up and taking pictures, but they're not actually sitting down and talking. But then even then, Stephen's just really sociable, which I think for London might not be the most accurate thing. I mean, people aren't really social. I think people still exchange and talk and stuff, but I think people aren't really kind of I think it's I think especially in my experience, I think it's kind of hard to meet someone that spontaneous. It's hard to meet people spontaneously in London. Actually, kind of it's unlikely that you'll actually spontaneously make new friends in London and actually get along well in that sense. But then I think people are still you either get people who are passive aggressive or the people who are outright kind of aggressive. I think for me those are the two, either passive aggressive or even aggressive. I think passive aggressive will still be either explicitly passive aggressive, or they'll just kind of be I'll tell you what you need to know, and then I'll be on my way because then I've got stuff to do and I'm not really in a social mood. But then you got the aggressive who just just piss off, just get lost, you wanker or something like that. So yeah, even Stephen's kind of actual kind of vernacular as an actual Londoner was still pretty on point too. So but I think seeing him actually sat down, actually venting. I think the fact that he vented might be a bit much because then the guy isn't really paid to sit there and actually listen to people talk about the problem. But still, I think again he wasn't really being rude or disrespectful. He wasn't rude or disrespectful. He just kind of sat there talking to another human being, and he was still, even the couple that even the couple that came to take a picture too. He took the picture for them, but then he reminded them, oh yeah, pay the guy a tip. He is here, stood here, actually, being courteous enough to do this for you. So make sure you actually tip him on everything. So I think that's how tipping should actually, work too, actually, as an actual compliment and a courtesy, and not like an actual living freaking wage. But then he actually reminded them tip, and then even then he shared the rest of it, the rest of his dinner with him, and also gave him some money for his travels too. So then Stephen is just a nice guy. He's like a genuinely nice dude in London too, which is So yeah, seeing that was cool. Seeing that was really, really cool. So that was fun. And yeah, the very ending. So I'm so used to Loki gave us like the kind of comic accurate costumes halfway through the season too. I think they actually gave us like stuff halfway through the season. But I think WandaVision and Falcon and the Soldier, like they're the ones who actually saved the iconic costumes and those appearances up until the very end and everything. So like that's when that happened. But with this one, we actually get to see Moon Knight right at the very beginning. We see Moon Knight. We get to see Moon Knight. We get the transformation. We get the suit. We get the appearance and everything right at the very beginning. So that's actually really refreshing and really cool to see. And yeah, I think that whole scene too. I think him giving up to Mark, but then him actually being taken over by Moon Knight, like that transformation of him actually surrendering to the light and having the kind of bandages wrap around him and the hood coming up and stuff. I think the tone of that kind of changed almost immediately too. I think to begin with, the Egyptian creature thing is chasing him down the hallway and chasing him down like through shelves and everything he's putting up and breaking through the door. But at the end, once Moon Knight comes out, because then I was questioning whether or not Mark could handle it. I think Mark, because then I thought if he transformed into Mark, he'd be transforming into Mark, like they're still in the same human body. But then no, Khonshu then takes advantage of that and actually imbues him with the powers and gives him the suit, and probably even as Moon Knight, but I don't know, maybe he has enhanced strength. I mean, he probably has other gadgets like the actual crescent moon boomerang and everything. He has the cape and everything, so that he's there. I think he has a staff too. Yeah, he actually has a staff too. But I think with this one, just good old fists and feet. He literally I think at first the monster is trying to get in, but then once Moon Knight comes out, the monster is trying to get out, and then Moon Knight is literally dragging it back into the room forcefully to try and teach it a lesson. I think that whole tone shift really got to me. When he's Steven, the monster runs towards him. When he's Moon Knight, the monster is actually trying to get away, and he actually has to drag it back in. Like, no, you don't. And actually, I think that, it's such a simple thing, but for me, it just makes me laugh so much. I think that kind of tone shift really, really fits in well, and actually, also it's just kind of funny to think about too. Like it goes from aggressively trying to break in to then actually trying to flee and being dragged back into, and then Moon Knight just literally beats it probably into a coma, or probably to death or something. But then actually, like, Moon Knight himself actually takes on an Egyptian god and everything. So yeah, God knows how Arthur brought it to life. God only knows how Arthur brought that thing to life. But regardless, he did, and then Moon Knight taught it a lesson. So yeah, and Moonlight was good. I think that same shot and that same scene we saw in the trailer. So I think seeing it here and now was a good, more more official look and a more kind of official glimpse at the character and the costume and everything. So that was still great. That was still really great. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. That is pretty much all I've got for now. So it's a very fun intro, very fun opening for the season, for the story. Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke were both great. They were both great in this, and I really can't wait to see where the story goes and how much more of them we get to see, and how much more the kind of story reveals to us, and how the story continues, and what's in store for Ethan, and what's in store for Steven now that he knows that Layla's out there, now that he knows that Mark's in him, and now that he knows that Moon Knight is in him too. Because then I'm trusting that would have also been a black. Because then. But then I wonder, right? A last little tidbit. I wonder then, like, when he gives in to Mark, because I think this is the first time we see it. So maybe just maybe, every time we saw him blip out as Stephen and go into Mark, and like was that still Mark or was it Moon Knight? Because then I mean, I feel like Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight looks better in the dark, like with the actual moon's light reflecting off of him. But then, because then I'm trusting that like Moonlight probably wouldn't really come out in like in broad daylight, either. Because then that would be like seeing Batman in broad daylight. Like it wouldn't really look as cool. And I think he'd be way too bold and way too visible then. So it's still cool to see him in the light of the moon at nighttime. So. Yeah, so that's I feel like in like versus the humans, it's Mark actually having the ability and the strength and skill to actually handle the humans. But then against like an actual powerful Egyptian monster thing, then it's actually Moon Knight actually making his first appearance and his first entry and everything. So yeah, okay, that then makes more sense. So yeah, so still like a great introduction, great first appearance, and a great kind of start to the story. Can't wait to see how it continues next week. So. Yeah, that was Moon Knight Season 1, Episode 1. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment what your thoughts are on this episode, of what you thought of this as an opener, as a series opener, what you thought of this kind of story introduction, and how you feel about the character and the story so far, and what you're looking forward to, and any recommendations you might have for comics I should check out in the meantime. Feel free to leave those in the comments. For those interested, the full-length reaction will be available on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it from me. So until the next time, bye-bye for now.